Good morning, everyone. My name is Timothy Lee, and I'm a mining analyst here at Red Cloud Securities. We welcome Glenn Jessome, President and CEO of Silver Tiger Metals. He will speak to us about Silver Tiger's exploration efforts in the historic El Tigre mining area of Mexico. Glenn, you have 15 minutes, and then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A at the end of the session. And attendees, please feel free to ask questions using the Q&A link below. Take it away, Glenn.
Good morning, Tim. How are you? Greetings from South Beach. Beautiful day down here. It's been a hectic 4 or 5 days for Silver Tiger. We're basically just finishing up the BMO Global Mines and Money Conference. Just nice to see everybody back there live, all the big companies, institutions. It was a great 4 or 5 days and just good to be in person again. So just finishing up that before I head home, I want to squeeze in this little presentation. So look, I think a lot of you know about Silver Tiger. But before we start talking about the asset, talk about, who we are, what we do. We've been, our group out of Halifax has been building mines in Mexico for, boy, it's almost 30 years. I'm giving my age away here to everybody. We built 3 large mines in that period of time. We've sold 2 more large transactions to majors. And, we're just back in the game with a couple more of our companies, but Silver Tiger, the true junior, so happy with where we've got this thing in the last probably 24 months since the pandemic started. Thanks to my folks at Red Cloud. They've been fantastic throughout this. We were 24 months ago with a market cap, probably $5-8 million, just getting going on this asset. And, we took our track record. It's all about track record, guys, and jurisdiction. It's hard to build mines, and that's all we set out to do when we get an asset. But that track record always shines through. We have the Tiger now at a couple $100 million market cap. We've raised $60 million in bought deal financings since the pandemic. Really getting after that high grade Tiger asset. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I'll share the screen. For all my shareholders out there, I always like to explain why I take money and when I take it. We took a bought deal financing, $23 million last Wednesday. I was very worried about where the world was going. I'd made the decision in my mind Putin was going to go big, and it would be risk off and the equity markets would close. So, we took another 23. That gives me pretty well $45 million in the bank to attack the asset now, the Tiger. That'll close in a couple of weeks. Our institutions that invest in us are the top in the world. We've got Franklin Templeton, we've got Sprott Asset Management, we've got Libra Fund, we've got Fort Sale, we've got Merck. These are the type of institutions. Not only is it important to have them there because they do such work and it's track record and asset, but we know we're going to build a mine here at the Tiger, and you're going to need those people, long shareholders, to support you. It should be a real good message when to any retail investor who's thinking of buying the Tiger, when the smartest institutions in the world pay straight up, 60 cents for our stock last week, heading into a risk-off environment with no warrants. It's a pretty good vote of confidence, the best you could possibly have with respect to your asset and your track record. And we'll wave that around all day. In case anyone isn't familiar with the asset, I'm going to share the screen now, Tim. Hopefully I don't mess this up. I'm operating off hotel internet and a couple of screens outside by the beach, but hopefully this thing will work, and we'll be able to show those that don't know a lot about the Tiger a little bit of it. Look, as I said, we've been in Mexico for 25 years. 3 big mines we built. 2 of them have ended up with market caps in excess of $1 billion. One was $2 billion, 2 unicorns. We're a couple of $100 million on the Tiger, but just getting going. And we expect this to be one of our next big wins in Mexico. We're in Sonora. I'm not going to get into too much about Mexico. It's a great jurisdiction. We built mines in Chihuahua and Durango. What do we have here? Look, it was a couple of years ago, the market wasn't as good as it is today as far as precious metals. And that's when we always look for our assets. There's the asset. It's the Tiger. It's 100 kilometers from the U.S. border. A beautiful, big land package. I'm a securities lawyer. I think some may know that, may not. My job is not to go underground and chip the rocks for our group. The likes of the Go Gold, our other company, Silver Tiger, I build them. And for our group, that's my job. TSX Venture Exchange, they start at. I'm on the National Advisory Committee for that exchange. And then we move them up to the TSX and move towards mining. This was one where I had to use my skill set. There was a public company called El Tigre Silver. They had a wonderful asset. They'd taken it a long way. But I acquired them for $11 million in 17, 18, I can't remember. I delisted that company, took this asset, and it goes to the Tiger. And, you know, we've been running hard since. You've seen the money we've raised. You've seen the market cap as it's increased. And it's a beautiful asset. What you're looking at there is 35 kilometers of the trend. That's 30,000 hectares. But make no mistake why we bought it. That old El Tigre mine, there's no new discovery in Mexico. Anybody who tells you there's, well, they have been there long enough. All the mines all of us find running around the head frames, both Spanish or American mines. This old American mine was a beauty. And people understand grade. This is as simple as it gets, why we acquired this thing. And I took this asset. It was the old Tiger mine, 1908, 1930. Everybody in Sonora went home in 1930. All the Americans, everybody. Cheese Paw, the Swiss, 90 kilometers south of us, they went home because silver went to 10 cents, and those mountains were dangerous for any miners after the Mexican Revolution. But this old mine, in 22 years, produced 100 million silver equivalent ounces at an average grade of almost 2.5 kilos. Cutoff grade, 1.3 kilos. But here's the magic and why we had to have it. The mine was, in the first 10 years, 100 tons per day, 100. The second 10 years, they ramped it up to 220. They were mining ore you can't even imagine, but they only took a little bit. That's always our experience. The old timers nibble, and they did. And that tenor of grade usually holds across these districts. And look, go look at our drill results. We've drilled stuff up to 82 kilos per ton silver equivalent. Like, incredible. They're not all like that, but consistently 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 kilos and real high hit rate. I can't go through all those results today, but boy, are we excited about what we're seeing so far. I'm going to break out that 25 kilometers of trend. And just so you appreciate how we're just getting going here, there's the 25 kilometers we've mapped and sampled. We're only going to talk about around the old mine today. That's enough, in my opinion. We've done this before, work to be done. That just drilling in that area, what we're going to put on the books, the mine we could build there to get this thing to $1 billion market cap. We've done that 2 times, so I'm allowed to say that. Work to be done. I'm looking over the horizon, but that's what we think. But make no mistake, there's 15 kilometers, the same trend going this way and this way. The vein set repeats over here. When you find a district like this in Mexico, Aro, Campo, Pinos Altos, Los Ricos, these are 30, 40-year mine life projects. We're just going to stay focused right here. I'm going to break that map out for you now so you know kind of what we're doing and the kind of stuff we're drilling. There's the map I want to look at next. That's that 5 kilometers in the middle. Look, we own this 100%. I still have the full royalty, no ejido. I also bought all of the land inside here. I paid $1.1 million, not only for the mineral rights. We're pretty confident we're going to have a mine. So you put that land under your control. The rancher was willing to sell it, and I bought it not that long ago. All the explorations around this old Tiger mine, that's where you start. And then you extend out to the north, and you go along where it's open to the south. And we're starting to do some of that. Right now, what we have here, and you should understand the map, black, that's the old mine. Red, veins in that 5 kilometers. They just went home in 1930. People don't understand this. They dropped their tools. And we got all the underground mining records. And when they dropped their tools at 150 meters on the west Sui vein, at about 80, 90 meters to the north here on the Tiger vein, and about 150 meters down depth on about 1 kilometer of the site's Kelly, the eastern vein, everything they stopped in was north of 1 kilo. A lot of it 2 kilos. They just put their tools down 1930. A lot of the mines in Mexico, they all went home, and these things sat until guys like us with modern technology and track record and experience came back. And so really what we've started to do is just real simple. 3 drill rigs, probably for the last year or more since we've been raising money and getting after this thing, have been drilling across 3 kilometers of the Sui vein. I can't go through the results. Go look at them. We're on Verify. All of our sections are there. 1, 2, 3 kilos, 4 kilos, 82 kilos, 1, 2, 3 meters, quartz vein, like your countertops, sphalerite, galena, chalcopyrite, all the silver metals. But what we've also seen is a real shale horizon. I'm going to talk about a new type of mineralization here, probably 4 months old. First press release, and that came out in December, January, where basically think of it this way, where any of these vertical quartz veins from great depth of 1 kilometer pass through a shale horizon, which looks like it's across the whole property, about 30, 40 meters thick, you're getting blowouts. And I'll show you a couple of slides to show that of blowouts of high grade mineralization, precious metals into those. We drilled stuff up to 20 meters, 2-3 kilos outside the high grade quartz vein. And that looks like it's really starting to hold up consistent. So right now, what we've got on here, so people know, are 3 drill rigs drilling on the Suey, nailing it. 2 drill rigs are drilling on the Sites Kelly. Go look at those results. I think the first 10 holes, the lowest result we had in one of those holes was half kilo. Everything else was 2-3 kilos and wide zones of shale. And now the first down dip holes are being drilled by one of those drill rigs underneath the Tiger vein, the one that comes up the middle. Stay tuned for lots of that. And basically what you're going to be looking for, I'm going to try to get a section to show you what this quartz looks like. I'm going to show you this one. This one's about up at the northern end of that Suey vein. And I think you're really going to appreciate here. Oh, wait, now where is it? There it is there. What the shale looks like. Up here, none of the stuff's ever been touched. So here's what we're drilling, guys. There's that quartz vein. You can see it. It goes to great depth, probably 1 kilometer. You can see it about 100 meters down. And this is how you got to read our press releases. There's 2 types of mineralization. So that's that intercept, 100 meters from surface. The red is beautiful. That's 2.6 meters of 4.3 kilos in that quartz vein right there. But you can see that shale horizon, 20, 30, 40 meters thick, always in the same place in the flat formation. And when that basically quartz vein passes through that carboniferous shale horizon, sucks that mineralization. Look at that, 15 meters of a kilo. You go look at our press, that's beautiful ore. Go look at all of our sections in our new press releases. Not only will you see those high grade like there, 0.6 meters of, that's down around the old mine, 0.6 meters of 8 kilos in the vein. Always look for that wide zone out in the shale. And that's how you got to read our press releases. You're always going to see that shale now. We think it's everywhere, and it's beautiful, beautiful stuff. You know, we drilled, you know, I mean, the first hole we put through it, I got to show you that. I mean, you want to talk about grade. Our first hole in the Sites Kelly a month and a half ago, down dip here, right where I just went. Look at that. That's what we drilled. Half meter of 82 kilos. They're all going to be like that. That's jewelry box stuff. But it's that 18 meters of 2.6 kilos outside that vein, not smeared. That was cut in the shale. It couldn't be going better. Next steps. Everybody asks about that. Well, the next specs for the Tiger are going to be, as we press released a couple of weeks ago, and we just raised that $23 million bot deal financing. You know, you got to top up because now it's time for the next step for the Tiger is to go underground and resume exploration, breathe life back into the mine, stockpile ore, but really get underground and start to drill. What we want to do that for, there's the old mine. I got to tell you, the first thing we always do is find the old mine records. And we did. And in 18, we found all the old mine records at American Mine, that 22 years of 100 million silver equivalent ounces at the University of Wyoming in the Anaconda collection, all the underground engineering maps, 35,000 underground blast samples every 5 feet on the drifts and raises. People who understand mining will know what that means. All the stope maps, the stope maps being what they took. So that took us 6 months to digitize all that information. That's the old mine. And just Reader's Digest. And why I want to show you this is show you why we're going underground right now. It's about 1.5 kilometers. You can see at this northern end, they only went down 100, 150 meters. At the southern end, they went down probably 400 meters, 450 meters. The black is what they took out of it. The stope, that's actually the ore they took. We had all the records. You can see the white being all the underground mining levels where they drifted and were getting ready to raise. There you go. That's plan view. You can really see what I've been talking about on that little colored map we talked about. There's the Suey vein. That's where they mined it. We're now gone 1.5 kilometers each way, and we're in that. We're on it there. Go look at the press releases. The next one is the Tiger and the Sites Kelly. What we think, and I'm going to go back here, we think that there's we think the old timers were drifting this way in north of Kilo ore. We have the records. They stopped here at level 7, 8, about 120 meters in 2 kilo ore when they went home. They were coming this way and they were coming that way. We need to drill that. And the way we're going to drill that, I'm going to show you, is we're underground now. We fired Cominvi. They're the first contractors all the way back to our first mine in Campo, Mexico. That's a long time ago, 25 years ago. That went to 2.2 billion market cap. In the end, it was sold to Carlos Slim for $750 million, and he's still mining it today. That's the mine life these districts have. But we brought them in. We press released that. They're on site with the scoop trams. They're going to make this mine first world safe. And where we're coming in here, this is the real gold from the underground. That's the level 7 entry. And we're coming in here. We're going to get to the Sui vein first, then the Tiger sites, Kelly. Let's say end of second quarter. We're going to have this thing mined safe. All the analysts want to come down and see it. We're covered, as you know, by everybody from Red Cloud, Desjardins, Echelon, Sprott, 8, all the banks cover us. So you can get all kinds of information out there, but Red Cloud has great coverage. You don't need to go any further than David Talbot's there. He's got a real handle on this thing. And we're going to get down underground, and we're basically, why we want to do that is, let me just take this back plan view one more time before I finish up the side view. The mine is dry from here up. So we're going to put the 3 drill rigs here at the bottom of those drills. And I'm going to show you a second. The other thing we're going to do too is that shale horizon lives about here. It's in the dry part of the mine. So we're going to get in there, do some bulk sampling. Last slide I'll show you before I wrap up is a cartoon of what I just showed you. And it's this one. So you can really see here, looking at where the old timers stopped mining in kilo material here. They were drifting this way in 2 kilo material. Those are all real samples we have. So this is very, very interesting. This was about 50 million silver equivalent ounces at over 2 kilos. So we're going to get, we've been drilling some holes. The terrain is steep. There's the first hole we put down dip under where they stopped mining. That was 82 kilos, and it was 17 or 18 meters of 2.6 in the shale there. So we're going to get 2 drill rigs right here. Let's say first start of third quarter, and we're going to really get at that from the underground. Remember, while we're underground, we're also going to be stockpiling the ore from that old mine. That stuff's 3-4 grams per ton gold, as you can imagine. The waste rock in this old high grade mine was higher grade than most mines that are in production today. So look, that's the Tiger. It's a beautiful asset. It's all about putting an old mine back in production. Going underground is for exploration, but that's the first breath of life. It's always the same at our Campo. You see all these mines. Look at the mines when they come back into production, get underground, explore, stockpile ore, in contemplation of the only reason we're here is not to drill holes and press the market. I'm sorry. Some guys get that idea. It's the wrong idea. They'll never survive. Everything we do is for one thing, to build a mine and do that first pour. So if you're looking long, like all those institutions that invested in us last week at 60 cents in a bought deal financing with no warrant, then this is the asset, I think. Super high grade gold and silver, and it's very sad, but a very uncertain world we live in. Our world has changed, and it's a hard way to have metals prices appreciating, but we know they are. That's why we did our financing before it was risk off and all the equity markets closed, because they have now for a while. So we're ready to go. $45 million sightline in the company, going underground, 6 drill rigs on surface. We'll get a couple underground, and we'll just keep ramping it up. And everything we're doing is to get this high grade mine back in production. That's Silver Tiger. I don't know if there's any questions, but I'd be pleased to answer them.
Great. Thank you very much for the great presentation, Glenn.
Thanks, Tim.
Absolutely. I guess one quick question, just to kind of close off. Obviously, you had talked about it, but what can we look forward to from the company here? Obviously, news on going underground and drilling results. What timing would you look for on some of the drilling results to come out?
Every 2 weeks. We're in a quiet period now because of the financing. Drill results every 2 weeks. 3 drill rigs on the Sui, 2 on the sites, Kelly, 1 on the Tiger vein. On surface, you're going to look for high-grade quartz intercepts and big blowouts of wide high-grade precious metals mineralization in the black shale. You're going to look for updates on being underground. You're going to end of second quarter, you're going to hear that we are safely underground and we're initiating drilling from underground. I'm hoping David Talbot's not going to be afraid to come down to the Tiger Mine, and we're going to get him right inside the guts of her, right on the sites. Kelly, he's going to put his hand right on that 1.3 kilo gold we drilled over there, kilo gold. And that's going to be the next. And then you're going to see those results coming. We're going to stockpile that ore. And by the end of the year, then we're going to see where we are with respect to resource update, PEA. But always remember what we think about. How fast can we get this thing in production? Because this grade is incredible.
Fantastic. Thank you again, Glenn. And thank you everyone out there for joining us today. Up next, we have Vox Royalty Corp on Stream 1 and Heritage Mining on Stream 2.